wherever you are in the world. Welcome along to KOR Stadium in Tashkent for this Group I match between Daegu FC and Beijing FC. Daegu, the hot favourites for this one, with Beijing only able to field a second-string side in this AFC Champions League group stage. Here's how it looks after 2 match days in Group I. Kawasaki Frontale with a couple of wins so far. Beijing FC with a draw and a defeat. Daegu FC 9 victory today will take them on to 6 points at the halfway stage of this group. The weather conditions here excellent. Sun very much still out, and even when it goes down, certainly not going to be getting cold. We're in the high 30s in terms of degrees Celsius. No rain around to speak of. And it's very humid as well, so it's going to be tough work out there for both sets of players. Beijing FC, the Imperial Guards, one of the giants of East Asian football, but struggling to deliver at this tournament. They had a 7-0 hiding against Kawasaki Frontale in match day 2. Meanwhile, Daegu were 7-0 winners against United City. Beijing FC substitutes there, and changes are going to be so important in this format with the heat and the humidity, as well as 6 matches in 15 days for these teams. Games just keep coming thick and fast. There's a feeling almost of being an international tournament due to coronavirus. Centralised hubs, so in quote-unquote normal times, these teams will play each other twice, once in Korea and once back in China PR. But instead, both meetings will happen here in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. One here today at the KOR Stadium, and then one at the Lokomotiv Stadium, which is not too far away. Beijing FC getting a 1-1 draw against United City on match day 1, but they were completely decimated by Kawasaki Frontale. Got this incredibly young team. Will be interesting to see how they bounce back today. Their goalkeeper, Bo, is the oldest player in their starting 11, and he turns 24 on the 31st of August. Right now he's 23, so that gives you an idea of quite how young this team is. Everybody else who's on the team sheet was born on this side of the millennium. Without wanting to make many of our slightly more senior viewers feel a bit old, that just gives you an idea of quite how junior this Beijing FC team is. For those maybe wondering why, well, they've decided to prioritise the Chinese Super League, which is going on at the same time, overlapping schedules, which is a bit of a surprise to see, and basically worked out that if the first team, for whom Slaven Bilic is the head coach, if they came over to play these group games, they'd miss 6 Chinese Super League games, 3 during the group stage itself, and then 3 more during the 14-day mandatory quarantine. They tried to move the fixtures, weren't able to do so. So this group stage competed by a very young Beijing FC team. Kawasaki Frontale, the Japanese champions, very much the strong favourites to win this group. Second place could also be good enough to get you into the last 16. 3 of the 5 best second place teams in terms of how they performed during the group stage will make it through to the round of 16, as well as the 5 group winners from those 5 Eastern groups, groups F, G, H, J, and then R1, which is Group I. Both teams in the tunnel. Kick off now, just over 5 minutes or so away. Beijing FC on the left in the green with the yellow trimmings. Daegu FC on the right in the sky blue. Well, Daegu with this group perhaps weakened a bit due to Beijing FC not being able to bring their best team, will be really eyeing this pair of fixtures against Beijing FC. It's a great chance to pick up 6 points. They meet today, and then they meet on Monday at Lokomotiv Stadium. 2 meetings within the space of 4 days. Referee Mohammed Khalid Mohoj from Saudi Arabia, just waiting for his cue to bring the teams out, assisted by Badir Ali Al-Shamrani from Saudi Arabia and Talib Salman Al-Mari from Qatar. The fourth official is Omar Mohammed Hassan Al-Ali. So Daegu FC looking to build on that 7-0 win against United City 3 days ago. Beijing FC desperate to show they're better than a performance where they were demolished by the very same scoreline. Defeated 7-0 by Japanese champions Kawasaki Frontale. Daegu very much the favourites for this game. And I'll see these pair of matches against Beijing FC as a really good chance to put themselves in pole position to finish second in the group, if not challenge Kawasaki Frontale to finish top. As the music stops, a moment I should say, of mutual appreciation and applause for both teams. Handshakes, very much for obvious reasons, not the done thing these days. Players, support staff, and also the officials in bubble life. So no Slaven Village in the dugout for Beijing FC. It's their reserve team head coach Zoran Jankovic who takes charge. He was asked whether he was going to change systems after their 7-0 loss against Kawasaki Frontale. Chose not to. Daegu, meanwhile, looking to build on that superb result against United City, where Sajinya in particular was outstanding. But going forward, they looked a really strong and composed unit. And just confirmation there of your officials. Team made up of Qatari, Saudi Arabian and Emirati representation. A much changed Beijing FC team, but we'll come to that in a second. Firstly, looking at Daegu, and surprisingly, they've kept faith with the side that absolutely ripped United City apart. Not eager to make big and drastic changes. Watch out for Sajinya and Edgar, the Brazilian pairing up front, who were so destructive in that game. Sajinya with 3 assists and a goal before being brought off. Edgar with a goal and 2 assists. As for Beijing FC, well, it's more a question of who's left in truth. There's only 4 players still in the starting 11 from that team that were taken apart by the Japanese champions. The pack shuffled, but regardless of who it is, as mentioned, it's an incredibly young side. These players exposed to AFC Champions League football for the very first time. Just 3 of their full squad had made any kind of league appearance in the Chinese Super League for the Chinese side before this tournament. And now they're thrust onto the continental stage. Those are the 2 benches which will be so key later on. For now, though, focus on the action in front of us. Kickoff is just 1 minute or so away. Daegu, knowing that victory will take them on to 6 points from 3 games. Beijing FC still looking for their first win in this year's competition, and it would be a real shock if it were to come here, in truth. Countdown then to start of match day 3 in Group I. So Daegu FC to continue the fine form shown in that 7-0 win against United City and grab a second win of this AFC Champions League group stage. Meanwhile, Beijing FC desperately looking to show that they're better than the team that were utterly taken apart in the defeat against Kawasaki Frontale. Beijing attacking from left to right as we look at things in their all sky blue kit in this first half. Beijing FC looking from right to left in their sort of grass-coloured green with the yellow trimmings. Early chance to get one in. Doesn't quite make it to Edgar. Zoran Jankovic taking charge of this young Imperial Guard side. Normally the reserve team head coach, Slaven Bilic, who replaced Bruno Genesio in charge at Beijing FC in January, is at home with the first team squad. Bilic's last job before joining Beijing was West Bromwich Albion, took them out of the Championship, then with them struggling in the Premier League, he was relieved of his duties. That's a loose touch. You do well to keep it alive through Jinyu. Half rotation for Beijing FC today. 5 changes on that side that was beaten so comprehensively by Iwasaki Frontale. Meanwhile, you similarly have made some alterations despite the 7-0 win against United City, and it's understandable that they'd choose to do so with such a packed fixture list. Two changes for Daegu FC, Lee Kun-ho and Lang Sun-win dropping out. And Young-wo and Young Chi-in have come in. Real test of your squad across these 6 matches. This one presenting the first ever AFC Champions League head-to-head between these two teams. Nice link play. It looks wide, but just dragged the crossfield ball away from its intended target of An Young-wo into the side today. Tough in midfield by Daegu. Not the worst ball in behind. Young-wo does well to keep the ball for Daegu. Now go more direct. Serginho want to cut in onto that preferred right foot. Does so. Gets the 1-2. Promising running forward from Serginho, who, when he's on form, really can be a nightmare to deal with. Serginho, who has 5 goals in 15 matches in domestic football so far this season. He's come good in this competition too. 2-2 for him so far. All the way back to KOR, the elder statesman of this side in goal, the 23-year-old. It's not an exact science, but if you want to tell that the first team have been left at home, and they very much are playing the kids here, Beijing FC, the shirt numbers, albeit not quite as rigid as they maybe once were in football, do still give you an idea because of how high they are. 64, 38, 36 and 35 in the back four, 69, 88, 66 and 99 in midfield, and 61 and 40 up front. Fair to them, it's a squad where the majority of these players are teenagers, and they acquitted themselves really well against United City. 1-1 draw. Goal coming thanks to brilliant free kick from Liang Xiaowen. It all fell apart against Kawasaki Frontale. Foul by Shi Yucheng. Saudi Arabian referee Khaled Hush just making it clear he wants no more of that. It's a warning, but nothing more. Well, it's one of those where referees are sometimes reluctant to get out a card early on in the game. I think had he done that later on, even in this first half, he'd probably be going in the book. Serginho can deliver really well from areas like this, and he's done it again. Free header over the bar. A really good cross. And Park Byung-hun up from the back. Couldn't test Chun Bo in the Beijing goal. Got an assist from a very similar area to this in the win against United City. He set up Kim Min-hyuk right on the half-time whistle. That time it was a similarly excellent ball in from Serginho, just didn't get the finish. Lovely flick over the top. Now Youngwo still allowed to run. Keeps going. Sets it back. Edgar's shot is blocked. Might try again. Intercepted by Desi. Now Yucheng. Wang Hao. Best part of 10 minutes gone. If you maybe are late to this game and missed the lineups, you can go and get all the information and more live scores and details and statistics on the AFC Champions League website, and do keep an eye on our social media pages as well for plenty of clips and highlights and further content. This is a good start from Beijing youngsters. Certainly a bit more promising. There's a lot of concern about how they'd react to that heavy defeat. That's some good passages of possession that will help settle the nerves at the very least. Now here they come, 3-on-3 if they can work this quickly. Shot dragged wide. Monty Schran had a lot of time to make up his mind, had options left and right. In the end, couldn't anywhere near close to giving Choi Young-un something to worry about, but he's barking in his defence, the Daegu keeper. Not happy with the lack of protection that he was given there, and I can understand why. Comes a long way from home, Chun Bo, and does well. Now this is a real pinch point for Beijing FC. And the key factors in their downfall was their failure to defend set pieces against Kawasaki. Virginia's ball in through body of players. Cycled back to Byung-hun. Quite a few in the Daegu FC camp feel like this is a real opportunity. They only made their AFC Champions League debut in 2019. But Beijing not being able to bring their first strength team gives them a real chance of making the knockout stages for the first time in their history. They don't have to win the group. Kawasaki Frontale probably favourites to do that. And Kawasaki beat them 3-2 on match day 1. Game where Daegu led twice through Hwang Sun-min and Serginia, but double from Leandro Damião and then a winner from Zhao Schmidt made the difference. That's a header off the post. So close for Gao Qin. This very young Beijing side nearly getting a shock lead. And now at the other end, that's surely going to be a yellow card for Liang Shouwen. Yeah, even early in the game. Referee's got little choice with a challenge like that. All happening here. A big chance for Gao Qin at one end, and at the other, Shouwen needing a seriously bad foul to stop the attack. Almost put it in on the rebound as well, Gao Qin, but just couldn't quite set his feet. What a chance that was. So Shouwen on a caution. Another great chance for Serginia to deliver. It's a good ball in. Get a second chance, the Brazilian. Serginia gives it away. One back by captain Shouwen, who's a bit of a leader for this Beijing FC side. Played very well at the back in their first game against United City. One of the big talkers as well, an organiser. Scored a magnificent free kick in that game. Edgar heads it down and heads it in. Simple as that. Seems to have injured himself in the process, the Brazilian. But he's got the big consolation of having scored in the AFC Champions League yet again. Scored in the 7-0 win against United City and takes his first chance to put Daegu in front here. Don't know whether the ball comes off his mouth, because as soon as he scores, he's holding his mouth in some serious discomfort. And just minutes after Gao Qin hit the post for Beijing FC at 0-0, it is Daegu who take the lead. It seems to have, I'm not sure how, headed it in off his teeth. It looked to me like a clean header straight off his forehead, but he's done himself a bit of a mischief in the process. Lovely ball in from that left flank. They know when they've got Edgar's height that it's always a good target man to aim for in the box. Finished it off really nicely. Now this is going to be a big mental test for Beijing FC. Gao Qin scored that header, or even on the rebound at 0-0. Might have been a totally different game, but now they'll be fearing that could be another collapse and another heavy defeat. Daegu will sense that as well as Tsubasa breaks forward. Thought they'd won a corner, but given as a goal kick. Daegu, who've had such a journey to get here, founded as a community club at the end of 2002, with their K-League 1 debut in 2003, and they've been in the top flight pretty much ever since, apart from in 2013 when they were relegated back to the K-League 2. It took them 4 years to get back into the top division. And went on to win the Korean FA Cup, I should say, in 2018. That qualified them for the 2019 AFC Champions League. They've had back-to-back fifth-place finishes in the K-League 1 in 2019 and 2020. And this year, well placed to improve that. They're fourth. At the midpoint of the season, only gone just recently. 33 points from 19 games, which is a decent tally. They're behind Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors and Suwon Blue Wings on goal difference only. 4 points off leaders and defending AFC Champions League winners Ulsan Hyundai. So right in the title hunt. Turn things around brilliantly after an awful start to the season. Only one win from 9 league games, had just 7 points from those 9 matches, and a huge turnaround from mid-April onwards. Defeat against Kawasaki Frontale was their first loss in 12 matches across all competitions, winning 9 of those. So these are exciting times for the men in sky blue. Just had a couple of kicks there at Xinyu Cheng. Wang Hao tries to put it in first time. Instead, here's Tsubasa. Suddenly a high press from Beijing FC. Edgar. Tsubasa. Zhong Wong. Very closely tracked. Tsubasa again. Nutmeg, but ends up losing the ball. And now here's a chance for Sajinya. Not far away at all from 2-0. Always a threat, Sajinya. 2 goals in 2 games already for him. Not quite able to make it 3-3 here. And that's his so-called weaker left foot, which tells you he can be so devastating. Firm favourite due to his charismatic presence and ability to produce the spectacular. It's probably their most prized possession for Daegu. Back at this level, he did well on his continental debut for Daegu a couple of years ago. Likes to play in that hole behind the front too. He's good at long shots, decent passer and a big creative force. Most of the good things that Daegu do tend to come through Sajinya. Xinyu. Here is Sajinya. Dropping deep to find space. And roaming forward might go himself. And it just deflects out for a corner. That is exactly what I was mentioning Sajinya can do. Kicks the ball up from deep, he'll run at you. He's got a good long-range shot on him as well. Defence just parted like the Red Sea. The gaps kept opening up for him to run into. Sajinya's corner. Right towards that back post. Headed away by Ran T Long. He said that this youthful Beijing FC side have been in a not entirely dissimilar position here. Similar collection of players represented the club in last year's Chinese FA Cup, while the senior team played in the AFC Champions League bubble in Qatar. Didn't let anyone down. Beat China League 1 high flies Chengdu Rongcheng 1-0 in that competition before losing 3-0 against Wuhan, a Chinese Super League side. Joran Jankovic does believe they can be competitive here, and that they're a better side than they showed in that 7-0 loss against Kawasaki. Sega tries to nick it onto Serginia, who wins another corner. Waves of Daegu pressure starting to come down on this Beijing FC side. Daegu looking to qualify for the AFC Champions League knockout stages for the first time in their history. Win here would certainly go a long way to helping them do it. Serginia once more over the dead ball. Decent ball in. Get back by Chinyu. Chubasa. Serginia, pardon me, can't keep that one alive. Serginia, the dynamic Brazilian duo that Daegu are so often so dependent on when trying to go forward. Late tackle, both players on the floor. It seems like it's Chang Zhongwon who's kind of worse of the two. Yeah, quite painful for Jiang Wanghao, but he can't complain too much really. See who quite blatantly got in the way of Zhongwon as Zhongwon was running around that outside channel. First injury delay of any note in this game. At almost the exact midpoint of this first half. Chance for Beijing FC to regroup. Chang Wanghao, real discomfort. So they're down to 10 players, and if anyone they want to go off as an outfield player, it would not be him. He's one of the more experienced ones in this team. He's the oldest outfield player in this side. Turned 21 in January. Virginia's cross, it's a really good one and headed wide. Well, the offside flag was up. UFC again so close to that second goal. Lethal ball in, but that replay suggests also offside. So, good call. Video assistant referee system not used for these AFC Champions League group stages as wow. Serginia almost picks up the second. A horrible moment for Guo Chunbo, who gets very lucky that the ball came off Serginia's boot straight back to him. Serginia, to my surprise, not eager to put the keeper under pressure again. And he would be bursting to do so after nearly benefiting from it moments ago. Chang. Neat play from Chubasa. Beijing really are just sitting deep and inviting pressure now. Serginia. That's the problem. You give a player like Serginia the amount of space they're giving him. They really are asking for trouble. Zhongwon looking on the overlap. Didn't make it to him. Chubasa. And the pass has too much on it for Zhongwon to do much about it. So Daegu with the lead. Edgar's goal in the 14th minute, heading in a lovely cross from An Yong-wo. Chubasa. Song Wong. Xin Yu. Good crossfield ball. And Wo down the line. Similar area to where the first goal came from. And it is towards Edgar again. And it's near enough a carbon copy of the first goal. Another great cross from that left flank. And another towering header from Edgar. Daegu double their lead. And Edgar doubles his tally. He just has total aerial dominance over those two Beijing FC centre-backs. Excellent ball in too. Lovely cross from Lung Chi-in, much like An Yong-wo's for the first goal. Couldn't have asked for a better ball in. And Edgar does the rest. And you really do fear for Beijing FC now. 2-0 already. Mental scars from that 7-0 defeat to Kawasaki Frontale will still be there. It was only on Tuesday, of course, with the group stage fixtures being so packed together. Song Wong can't keep it in play. Tough times for Beijing FC, one of 4 Chinese teams in this AFC Champions League, joined by CSL champions Jiangsu Suning, runners-up Guangzhou Evergrande, and Chinese FA Cup winners Shandong Luneng. Qualified via finishing 3rd last season in the Chinese Super League Beijing. It's their 10th appearance at this competition. Had a slow start to the new Chinese Super League season. Lost a couple of games from their first 4, but some in 10th from 16 teams. Losses at Shanghai Shenhua and Shanghai Port, but come back well enough recently. 2-0 wins against Dalian Pro and Wuhan FC. Big domestic rivals, of course, in particular Shanghai Shenhua, often called the China Derby, so that loss in particular was a really hurtful one. Much more hurtful in many ways, you'd have to say, possibly, than any defeats that they get in this group stage, because the pain of that is mitigated somewhat by knowing that it is their second string side. It's excellent experience for these young players, many of whom are still teenagers, and will be better off for it. It's one of the stronger youth academies in East Asia, Beijing FC's junior ranks, which are being put under real pressure here as the half-hour mark approaches. Daegu FC have another chance to get the ball in. Virginia over the corner. Floated up. It's another header. Just can't deal with the aerial threat, Beijing FC. The scramble defence does just enough to get it into Chumbo's gloves. Thoroughly unconvincing, though, in truth. Tough times for Zoran Jankovic, former Bulgarian international who once played alongside Dimitar Berbatov in the UEFA European Championships, which of course going on at the same time as these AFC Champions League East stage groups stages. Plenty of football going on across the world, of course. Paraguay against Peru coming up in the Copa America, the European Championships quarter-finals. Later on today, Belgium against Italy and Switzerland versus Spain. in the AFC Champions League. 3 games going on at the same time as us. 2 games going on, pardon me, at the same time as us. 3 other games today. San Hyundai, the defending champions, have seen off Kaya 3-0 to continue a strong start for them in the group stages. Meanwhile, elsewhere right now, Kawasaki Frontale goalless against United City. That is a game that Kawasaki would be the favourites to win as the Japanese champions, up against the champions of the Philippines. And PJ Pathum United FC 1-0 up against Vito in Group F. Yampu kicks it forward. Might be a pocket of space here for Casey to exploit. He does need support. Got it in the form of Gao Chin arriving. Gao Chin, who had that headed chance that came off the post at 0-0. It's one of those you find yourself looking back and wondering just how different this game might have been had that gone in. As it is, Daegu right up against it now. Wang Hao. Shin Yu. Virginia helps it round the corner. Real chance on the break here. It's a 4-on-4 if they can work this quickly. And Yongwo might go himself. Still going himself. Sets it back, almost his second assist of the game. Just fell between 2 sky blue shirts. Now Chin. Chin recycles. Daegu looking to build on an impressive debut in this competition 2 years ago. They picked up 3 wins, 3 defeats as well. Ended up finishing 3rd behind Sanfrecce Hiroshima and Anja Evergrande in their group. Beat Evergrande in one of their 2 games against them and got a pair of wins against Melbourne Victory from Australia. So although they finished 3rd, it was a pretty decent debut. Picked up 9 points from their 6 games. And yeah, their target was to better that points tally, see if they could realistically possibly top the group if they did really well. If not, finish 2nd behind probably Japanese champions Kawasaki Frontale. Strong favourites to finish 1st in this one. Jiang Wanghao is down again. He took a bad knock. He actually committed quite a bad foul 10 minutes ago. And he still doesn't look to have really recovered here. Got 5 substitutes, Beijing FC, so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they eventually decide that it's time to give him a rest and take him off. Don't have a specialist left back on the bench though, so that sort of contributes to why they're a bit reluctant to substitute Jiang Wanghao, because it will bring about something of an unwanted tactical reorganisation. Maybe they're just thinking if they can try and manage him through to half-time, that will give them a chance to get him 15 minutes of treatment. Being said, it does look like they've decided enough is enough. Abiang Mohammadi is ready to come on. Number 63 for Beijing FC. Daegu helps it on to Gao Chin. Bit of space here for Gao Chin. It opened up nicely to have a shot. Decided he was going to do so. Wins a corner off Hong Chung-un. Beijing FC just getting ready to make a change due to that injury situation. Chen Yanpu to take the corner. Beijing FC's first corner of the game. But our Saudi Arabian referee Hoish just dealing with a bit of pushing and shoving in the box first. Sort of going short, changed his mind. Here's Yanpu's corner. Will he do enough to get it away? Taken by Wang Hao. And 5 long, but a bit too long. From the keeper Che Young-un, trying to launch the counter-attack. Wang Hao, who, despite that sustained spell of treatment, has stayed on for now. Wu Cheng looks wide. He's offering an option, but Beijing just content to have the relief of keeping the ball for a bit after half of football where they really have been constantly on the back foot. Daegu have had almost 70% of the ball. Now this is more promising. Help forward to Daegu, who has a go. It's harmless and easily gathered by Young-un. Young-un in charge of Daegu FC. Done a really good job of continuing to build on their improvements as a club across the last 4 years. It's only 4 years ago that they were promoted back to the K-League on their first ever domestic honour, that FA Cup title in 2018. The appointment of the C1 Samsung Blue Wings legend Yibun Gwen has certainly only helped them progress. It's another good cross from the left. Daegu was waiting. Daegu have got to play it down. And of all the players to be down, is the one they really wouldn't want to see writhing around on the floor in pain. Serginha, the Brazilian, is in some serious discomfort here. The star man. 2 goals in the first 2 games in this AFC Champions League group stage. A big creative force as well with his deliveries from set pieces. Well, he was being manhandled by Hu Jiaqi, and then he ended up running into Shi Yu Cheng. Long Ye. Chong-un. Hyun. Edgar, I believe he has 2 goals today. It's important as well for Daegu to be ruthless. Goal difference could make all the difference when it comes down to qualifying for the round of 16, whether that be in the fight with Kawasaki Frontale to top the group. Topping the group gets you automatic entry into the round of 16, or being one of the best second places. Good turn from Serginho. His feet were just too quick for Ruantilon. Lovely skill from the Brazilian, who is excellent over the dead ball and will really fancy this free kick. Just had his heels clipped. I'd expect this will be Serginho on his right foot. Bo setting up his wall. Angle, just because we're on the left side of the penalty area, probably maybe naturally favours left footer to curl it from outside of the post to in to make it harder for the keeper, but player of Serginho's quality, capable of scoring from here regardless. There is the left-footed option of An Yong-wo. So Serginho on his right, Yong-wo on his left. Serginho to hit it. By his very high standards, that's 4. Not even close to getting the keeper, Kwon Chun-bo, to work. Got his angles all wrong. It's one of those where you do often hear free kick takers say they'd almost prefer it to be 5 yards or so further back than right on the edge of the D, because you need the space and the time to get the ball up and over the wall, but then back down underneath the crossbar. Put ball forward for Zhongwon. Really nice control. Daegu. Serginho pushing for a third before half-time. Daegu. Serginho might fancy a shot. Instead looks cross-field. Too much on that for Tsubasa. With Kwon Chun-bo. He's had a tough time with things in goal for Beijing FC in this tournament. He's already conceded 10 goals. Pardon me, 8. Yes, sorry, 8 before this game. 10 in total across the tournament, now including the 2 in this match. He's often not been protected overly well, it must be said, by his defence. It's not really been due to a litany of goalkeeping errors. Zhongwon. Puts it up towards Edgar, who again is a threatening aerial presence. Serginho. Whoa, good ball in. Almost a third headed goal of the game for Daegu. Really does look like good crosses into the box there. Best chance of adding further to their tally. 2 minutes minimum added on at the end of this first half. It's An Yong-wo who got the assist for the first goal. Just chipping it up. Tsubasa couldn't get onto it at that back stick. Tough time for Beijing FC. There was a feeling at one point that they'd be able to call on Hao Sen, their one-club man, their 31-year-old goalkeeper and longest-serving player for this AFC Champions League, but he's now also not available. Capital City club, their youngsters probably looking as much as anything else to get good experience out of this opportunity to play on this stage. Edgar. And straight out of play. Not his finest moment from the 34-year-old who's got 6 goals in 16 games across all competitions, including 3 already in this AFC Champions League campaign. 2 in this match. Half-time whistle moments away, and you could argue that Daegu's lead is there on the balance of play. Just 1 shot on target for Beijing FC. Did hit the post through Gao Chin when it was 0-0. Apart from that, they've shown precious little on the break. Maybe that can change here. Desi does have options. Gets it back. Yampu. Yampu's ball in. Doesn't beat the Daegu FC skipper. Continue. And that is half-time here at Bunyodkor Stadium. And this game very much going the way it was probably expected to. A second-string Beijing FC side fighting hard. But it's a pair of headed goals from Edgar after 2 lovely crosses in. The first assist for An Yong-wo, second by Yoon Chi-in. Both great deliveries from that left flank. So, at half-time here at the Bunyodkor Stadium, Daegu FC well placed to get their second win of this season's AFC Champions League group stage. It's Daegu FC 2, Beijing FC 0.
哎，大哥啊，2点球，2点球！啊，2点球，2点球！大哥啊，2点球，2点球！大哥啊，2点球，2点球！大哥啊，2点球，2点球！哎，大哥啊，2点球，2点球！哎，大哥啊，2点球，2点球！
Welcome back to the Bunyodkor Stadium in Tashkent for this second half between Daegu FC from Korea and the Chinese side, Beijing FC. Very young Chinese side, Beijing FC, because their first team squad is still at home competing in the Chinese Super League and having lost 7-0 last time out against Kawasaki Frontale. Beijing FC in AFC Champions League trouble once more, 2-0 down. So a lot to think about for those youngsters at the break. A pair of headers from Edgar in the first half. Lovely assists from An Young-woo, and then after that for the second goal, Young Chi-in setting up both of those goals down that left flank. CHN, as always, a bit of a creative hub for this Daegu FC team, who I'm sure will lie a few more goals in this second half, which could be useful in the final scheme of things. A pair of substitutions, a trio of substitutions in fact, at the break for Beijing FC. They've brought on Nabiyang Mohimadzi, Mbuchi and Long Fei. Final preparations for both sides before we get underway for this second period. Daegu FC in just their second ever AFC Champions League campaign. I feel like got a real chance of getting out of this group. So Beijing FC desperate to find a route back. Daegu FC, I'm sure, looking to pile on the pain and some more goals in this second half. Daegu in sky blue, attacking from right to left as we look at things. Beijing FC shooting from left to right. Pleasure to have your company wherever you are across the world in this match day 3 Group I. Taken down by Sejinya, helps it round, and that's a good save to keep it at 2-0 from Guo. Desperately needed goal in the first minute of this second half, but surely all but killed off any realistic hopes Beijing FC of getting something out of this contest. Chunbo punches away the corner as well. Sejinya. Lovely ball in and headed just over. Again crosses into the box, doing it for Daegu. Both of the first 2 goals headers. Nearly had another one in similar fashion here. It was a free header at that back post from Young Chi-in, who got the assist for the second goal. Lovely work again, down the left, falls for Sejinya, he's not going to miss from there. And Young-woo's cross not dealt with, a horrible moment for Guo Chunbo. And it's been coming at the start of this second period. Sejinya gets his goal. It's been a big part of everything that Daegu have done going forward. And now he gets his third in 3 AFC Champions League group games across this tournament. Good strength from An Young-wo, who got the assist for the first. It's his cross that leads to the third. It's a moment that Guo Chunbo will never want to watch back. Just palms it down straight towards one of the very best finishers in this part of the world. Hu Chia-chi was sliding in on the line, but nothing he could do to stop it. Well, you just thought if Beijing FC could start this second half well, maybe grab a goal on the counter-attack. They have occasionally threatened. Could really make a contest of this, but now asking for a huge amount to make something happen from here. Now maybe they can create something. Ochi's cross. Shot blocked from Chia-chi. And again, there's he having a go. Too close to Choi Young-eun though. It's a relatively comfortable save for a keeper of his quality. Daegu sure will be thinking that they can now go and repeat the 7 they got against United City. Starting to really look in the mood going forward. That chance goes to begging. Almost number 4, Young Chi-in. And he applauded over the attempt by his coach, Lee Byung-gwen. Daegu hunting for more goals here. Just to reconfirm those trio of substitutions that Beijing FC completed at the start of this second half. Avichang Mohamedi, Singa Longfei and Yu Chi coming on. Daegu nearly make it 4-0. Again by Young-wo and over by Sejinya. Well, right now it just looks like only a matter of time until Daegu keep adding goals. Seems like in this second half, every time you blink and there's every chance you might have missed yet another big chance, and that time it's off the post. Sejinya blasts over. All over Beijing FC right now. Look powerless to stop them. I'm sure Edgar will be eyeing his hat-trick. Serginia. Did well wide. Be a very happy man, the small Blue Wings legend, Lee Byung-gwon. Sure he will have sent his side out determined to over that 2-0 advantage. So again, they go close to number 4. This time, Jung Chien trying his luck. Right now, ever since the start of this second half, Daegu have looked far more likely to add more goals than Beijing have to somehow find a route back. Youngwo's cross, Serginia takes it down, could be number 4. Oh, and it's a horrible deflection. Serginia has his second, he'll claim it. It's been coming, it's been all Daegu in the first 10 minutes or so since the restart. And Serginia has a brace early on in this second half. Not exactly his most convincing goal, but it's not exactly like he'll care. Just clipped up again by An Young-wo, who's been so good down that left flank. Didn't really get a clean connection on it, but it comes off the left heel of Ruan T. Long. How unlucky can you get? Football can be such a cruel game, and when the luck is not going with you, it really is not. So Serginia scores in the 48th minute and now the 55th. It is 4-0 Daegu. Serginia has 4 goals now in his third AFC Champions League group stage match of this campaign. Conceded 7 against Kawasaki, this young Beijing FC side. And we're heading up to similar numbers again. It's not quite the biggest defeat we've seen any side suffer in these AFC Champions League group stages so far, as Serginia lays it off, hunting for number 5. Given away by Chang Zong-won. Did see Shambo Hyundai Motors thrash Tampines Rovers 9-0 yesterday. 4 goals in that game for Gustavo. Speaking of 4, Beijing FC have made their 4th of 5 available substitutions just to try and get some fresh legs onto the pitch. Try and stop conceding goals, get even something of a foothold in this game. They didn't exactly have a lot going for them in the first half, apart from that chance at 0-0 when Gao Chin hit the post. In the second, it really has been one-way traffic, attack versus defence, training ground style stuff almost. Another great cross by Young-wo, and almost yet another goal. Headed wide. That was a very good chance. Cho Jin-wo, who's only just come on for Daegu. Lovely ball forward towards Edgar, who's on a hat-trick and selfishly lays it off. And almost number 5. A good save from Go Chunbo. Denies Yoon Ji-in. Daegu pressing hard for more. Absolutely ruthless. Junior on a hat-trick. This is Edgar. A pair of first-half headers for Edgar. And Virginia with 2 goals early on in this second period. A bit over hit. It's rare because that aerial delivery is normally so good today, Daegu. Almost reached the hour mark here at the Yodko Stadium. And it's damaged the rotation time for Beijing FC. Chibasa picking up a yellow card for that recent indiscretion. He's been eager to let the game flow wherever possible. Saudi Arabian referee Hirsch. Chibasa taken off. And I wonder whether the yellow card is maybe a bit of a part in that. Park Han-bin comes on. Han-bin, who scored in the 90th minute, goal number 6 in the 7-0 win against United City 3 days ago. It's a double change. So on comes Lee Kun-ho. The ball from the left not cleared. Does he? And gives away a bad pass, which hands the ball back to Longley. He can't make anything of it. Patient possession from Daegu. They chase yet more goals. I do feel like, I don't mean to sound at all disrespectful, that it is probably only a matter of time. Nicely worked around the corner. Deflected, this time the deflection is kind on Beijing FC. And then CHN it out for a corner. 19-year-old who scored a brilliant free kick against United City. So no Serginho set pieces now, so instead it will be Nyongwo to take it. Decent ball in from Nyongwo. Today it is Beijing FC who win the aerial battle in their own box. So often that's been a huge issue for them. Now maybe a very rare chance on the counter. Let's see. Too long. Deflected cross. Rare spell of attacking pressure for Beijing FC here. Down by Bochi, still going. Foot on it from Shenyu. Get inside. Worked by Shenyu. Decent cross as well. It's towards Kun Ho. Couldn't quite get there. Young Woo. Long leg. In. Foul by Onti-Shuan. Almost at the exact midpoint of this second half. Is a frustrated shove. A shove of a striker who's had the frustration of playing in a team. We can all relate to this. Having a bad day, but a really tough day when you're playing as a forward side that's being utterly dominated. 4-0 down today, 7-0. This is against Kawasaki 3 days ago. It doesn't get any easier. The worst thing for Beijing FC is that in 3 days they've got to face Daegu again. That time at the Locomotive Stadium, as opposed to here at the Bunyodkor Stadium, which is one of the homes of the Uzbekistan national team. Kun Ho slides it in behind, too much on that. It's around a 34,000 capacity arena, of course absent at the moment. Can't wait to welcome fans back as soon as it's safe possible to do so. Opened in 2012, it's hosted international matches since March 2013, when it was the place to be for a 2014 World Cup qualifier between the Uzbeks and Lebanon. It is also known as Mili Stadium or the National Stadium. It's a ground that is home to the 5-time Uzbekistan Super League champions FC Bunyodkor. Staged plenty of AFC Champions League games with the Tashkent Giants, who were regulars in the competition between 2012 and 2017. Long leg. Gets it back. And Hyun. Daegu just trying to pick the lock. Not do so this time, but get it straight back. They've struggled to keep the ball for any period of time, Beijing FC. It's done really well to keep that ball alive. That's a handball against Park Han-bin. Away by Byung-kyun. There's he dropping deep to try and link play, try and get something going. Still haven't scored in open play in this AFC Champions League group stage. Only goal, an outstanding left-footed curling free kick from Yang Xiaowen in the 73rd minute against United City, after a super strike of his own from Stefan Schrog had put the champions of the Philippines in front in the first half. What was initially taken down by CHN, couldn't keep it at his feet for long. Nice ball in behind and a good turn as well. Blocked by Zongwon. And Daegu win the free kick to get themselves out of trouble. Clever play from Chi-in, just nudged it past Ran Ti-long, which meant when the inevitable contact came, it was he who got the decision. Fourth change for Daegu FC is Lee Long-lei, the central midfielder, who's had a tidy game in there. Comes off. Lee Jun-yong comes on. He's more of a defender, so might think about some subtle tactical adjustments. Daegu flips it forward. Bit of a mess at the back from Beijing. Keeper Ko Chun-bo didn't come for it, and again they've given the ball away. It's been a common feature of today's game. Struggled in defence, but the rare times they have won the ball back, they've rarely been able to build an attack or get into Daegu's half even. Maybe that can change here. Desi. It's an assertive sliding tackle, good sliding tackle from Choi Jin-woo. Really has been domination for Daegu. 68% possession, 7 shots on target, 20 shots in total, including blocked shots. Beijing, apart from when Gao Chin hit the post at 0-0, not really threatened Choi Young-un. As we head towards the last 15 minutes of normal time. With Chun-bo. A lot to think about for Zoran Jankovic, Serbian reserve team head coach. He's got a difficult job on his hands, trying to get these stadium players up for the rematch in 3 days' time at Lokomotiv Stadium. Suffered their heaviest defeat, and the heaviest defeat for a Chinese team in AFC Champions League history last time out against Kawasaki Frontale, conceding 7 goals in that game, which is as many as they conceded in 9 games combined in the competition prior, where, of course, for the vast majority of those matches they had their first team available. Long down on halfway. Injuries certainly aren't going to help Beijing FC. It's getting further treatment. Daegu, meanwhile, of course, buoyant. It was their biggest AFC Champions League win in that 7-0 thrashing of United City. They've built on that nicely here. It's only, in fact, the 4th time a South Korean side have scored 7 goals or more in AFC Champions League game, and the first time in more than a decade, since April 2010. And Chambot, the Tuan Sepak Bola Indonesia Jayapura 8-0. So these are two teams very much with contrasting fortunes, contrasting levels of confidence and momentum at the moment. And Bin looking for number 5, wins the corner, has to settle for that with energetic running from the substitute, who scored number 6 in the 7-0 win against United City. Overhit corner, comes to Han Bin. just a touch late from Hanbin. Now both teams going to make their 5th and final changes of this contest. And Edgar will have to settle for just the 2 goals today, much like his Brazilian counterpart Serginho. Sung comes on for Edgar. Daegu win the throw. So both teams now liberty to the possibility of an injury, bringing them down to, I think, just 10 available for the rest of the contest. Into the last 10 minutes of normal time then. Hunting more goals. It's a pullback. Again, it's down that left flank where they've had so much joy. And Young Wo, who's been a real star today for Daegu. Serginho and Edgar will probably be the 2 that get the most sort of headlines, given that they've both scored a couple of goals each. But Young Wo's been now unplayable down that left wing. And it's again stopped that time by Ran T-Long for once. Zoran Jankovic with plenty to think about after this game. If things stay as they are now, his side will have conceded 12 goals in 3 games. Picked up just 1 point, that 1-1 draw against United City. Daegu chasing more goals. It could really be useful in the grand scheme of things, whether that's fighting to win this group against Kawasaki Frontale, where goal difference might come into shape, or in the analysis of trying to be one of the best second place teams. So we've got groups F, G, H, I and J ongoing right now, and all of the five second place teams from those groups will be ranked against each other, and the three with the best records of those five will go through. So it'll make all the difference. Oh, lovely jinking feet. Eventually it's to settle for a corner. Oh, Hao Sung. Looks like might have more than that at one point. Well, it's good experience for this very young Beijing FC side. Oldest outfield player today, just 21.5 years old. Mentioned by the keeper, the oldest player in the side, who's 23. Ball against Chien, got the assist for the second goal. Remember, of course, plenty of other games going on right now, 2 more to be precise. Kawasaki Frontale at it again. They are 7-0 up against United City. They could get back-to-back 7-0 wins. Hat-trick for Kento Tachi Bandana, Hiroto Oshima with a goal, Leandro Damiao chipping in. Karamutoma has 2. It's another really tough day for the champions of the Philippines. Ochi might be able to get a consolation goal. This is a save at least out of Choi Young-un. Did have crossing options also available. That is late, and will bring a yellow card as well for the substitute Oh Hao Sung. But I want to be careful on the disciplinary side of things, Daegu, because these yellow cards can turn into suspensions if they rack up as the competition goes on. That's where in the AFC Champions League today, in defending champions Ulsan Hyundai's group, Jakarta United 2-0 up in the dying moments against Vital. That is skied over by substitute. It's a really poor effort in truth from Nabi. I was a bit surprised that Nabi Chung Mohammadi took that free kick. That Liang Xiaowen scored so brilliantly with one in the win against United City. You can see it's been clubs from the East that have been dominating in the East versus West battle. 13 East winners since AFC Champions League started in its current form in 2002-2003. And reigning champions are from the East in Ulsan Hyundai from Korea. Beating Persepolis from Iran in last year's final. And I've mentioned that because of the way the format works, it will definitely be an East versus West format final. Best of the East against the best of the West. The West group stages are done now, so we know the 8 teams from the West who've made it to the round of 16. By the end of these group stages, in 9 days or so, we'll know the 8 teams from the East. and they're kept separate within their regions. Round of 16 and quarterfinals both one-legged, and then two-legged semi-finals, then a two-legged final in late November, on November the 21st and the 27th. The round of 16 and quarter-final matches in September, and those two-legged semi-finals in October. We already know the 4 round of 16 games on the west side of things. Here come Daegu hunting a fit. Al-Sung tackle. Will be an all UAE clash as Sharjah place is Al-Wada FSCC. Two matches that pit Iranian and Saudi Arabian opposition against each other. So that could be a penalty. Referee not interested. Beijing FC try a rare break forward. Tractor FC will face Al Nassr, and Al Hilal will play Estegal. And then the other match, FC Istiklal versus Persepolis. So 3 Iranian representatives in the 8 teams to make it to the round of 16 from the west side of things. Two minutes added on at the end of this one. Beijing FC will be eager to get off the park at the end of it. It's not quite been the 7-0 defeat they suffered against Kawasaki Frontale, but they've been blown away in truth. Card for Kim Chun-yu. It's not what Daegu will want. Heightens possibility of a suspension later on in the competition. So the dying moments on another tough day for Beijing FC's youngsters. Daegu FC leading in the 14th minute when Nicker's header down the bottom corner. Great cross by An Young-wo from the left. A similar vibe to the second goal. Another great ball in, this time from Young Chien, headed in by Edgar. And then 2 goals from Sejinya. Start of the second half, one from a horrible error by the goalkeeper Guo Chun-bo. Another good cross from An Young-wo wasn't dealt with. So it's Hao Sung dancing through and firing in. Well, that will cap it off nicely. It's a 5-star performance from Daegu FC. And the Korean side who've been on the rise in recent years. We've seen their stock continue to climb in this game. 7-0 victors against United City. Going to have to settle for 5 here. But what a way to get the 5th. Lovely goal from the substitute Hao Sung. Ruthless finishing. Just found a pocket of space. Got himself past Shi Yu Cheng. That will do very nicely. So Oh Hao Sung's goal is the last kick of this game. And it is a comprehensive win for Daegu FC, who've come back really well since losing 3-2 against Kawasaki Frontale in match day 1. 12 goals in their 2 matches since. 7-0 winners against United City, 5-0 winners today. The reverse scenario for Beijing FC, they've conceded 12 goals in their last 2 games. No side has faced more shots on target in the 2021 AFC Champions League East Asian group stages so far. That shows you just how under siege the Beijing FC goal has been in this tournament. A really, really tough day for them. Superb stuff from Daegu though, too good today. 2 goals for Edgar and 2 for Serginia at the start of the second half. And 1 to round things off nicely from Oh Hao-sung. Just 1 point from 3 games now for Beijing FC. Meanwhile, Daegu looking like they're going to push Karaisaki Frontale all the way in Group I for who will finish top of it. The full-time score here at the Bunyodkor Stadium in Tashkent. Daegu FC 5, Beijing FC 0.